Today I'm joined by my amazing friend Louise from the YouTube channel Digital Nomad Girl. So some of you might already be familiar with her, but today we're talking all about her digital nomad success story that has her pulling in over 10 grand passive income from Udemy per month. So, Louise, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm Louise. I've been a nomad now for about 3 years, and I do a ton of different income streams. I've tried all kinds of different jobs, and I've been a subscriber of you like forever. So it's so crazy that we're finally filming together. It's been amazing coming to visit Rome and like see your passion city.
Oh, thanks, Louise. And you enjoy Rome?
Yeah, we've loved it. We've got all the Instagrams.
Yeah, so be sure to check out Louise on Instagram as well, and all of her info will be linked below. Tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel specifically, what types of content you offer on there.
Yeah, so my YouTube is Digital Nomad Girl, and it's a mixture of travel and business, so like the true nomad blend.
Yeah.
So I do some travel vlogs, but I also do a lot of sit-down videos about like practical advice. I talk a bit about income and jobs and finding accommodation and finding Wi-Fi and making friends and all the kinds of different lifestyle things, like the highs and lows of traveling full-time and running a business. And I actually run one of the businesses with my husband, so I talk a little bit about what it's like working together, traveling with your partner, all that kind of stuff.
Amazing. I've gotten so much inspo from Louise, so I definitely recommend checking out her channel. So let's talk about, you've been a digital nomad for 3 years now. What brought you to make the leap?
So I always loved to travel, and I thought it was temporary, like, you know, once you get a job you can only travel a couple of weeks a year, and I always thought travel would have to be like as a holiday, but then I always wanted to be self-employed, and he was then my boyfriend, but my husband and I were both entrepreneurs, and he was living in London and it was really expensive, and he was doing all his work online, and he was like, why am I here? Like, I hate it here. So he went to Tallinn in Estonia, which is quite a popular nomad spot, just because it was cheaper, and he was like, well, I may as well be there.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, we're totally hooked. So after that we went to Chiang Mai, and then we just never looked back, and we told our families we were just going for a couple of months to Thailand, like kind of on an extended holiday, and we'd work a bit while we were there. And then we just never came home.
Amazing, amazing. That's what happens, you just embrace the journey.
Yeah, exactly. You feel like it's gonna just be an experiment, and then if it doesn't work out, that's fine, but it probably will, and you'll probably find yourself 3 years later, like, a whole different world. You know, we've done so many different companies since then.
Yeah.
Everything work-wise has changed, everything life-wise has changed, and you just can't imagine ever then just being based back at home. I can't imagine what my life would have been like if I hadn't decided to move to Thailand.
Yeah, it's incredible. So speaking of adventures and, you know, testing things, like embracing experiences, let's talk about Udemy a little bit, because I feel like on your channel, on Louise's channel, she's very transparent about her Udemy journey and how much she's made on it, and it's so inspiring. So when you first started putting courses up on Udemy, for those of you who don't know, it's like an online platform where you can buy courses in all different categories.
Yeah, everything is on there.
Yeah, and so was this an experiment for you at first?
Yeah, totally. So when I moved to Chiang Mai, before that I wasn't working online, I was actually doing like interior design for retail shops on the high street, and so I had no idea how I was going to make online income, but I was like, I'll just give it a try, and if it doesn't work, I can just go back to England and get a job, and that'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we went to Chiang Mai, which is kind of the nomad capital. There were so many other nomads there, and I was like, my mission is to speak to as many nomads as possible and just find out what they're doing for money, find out what's going to fit well with me. And so I found out about all these different things like drop shipping and Amazon and teaching English online and all these things, and I met someone who was teaching on Udemy, and I was like, what is Udemy?
Yeah.
And I already had a blog, so I already had a nice camera. I love teaching, you know, I used to teach dance, and like I have a business degree, and I've always loved teaching. And it just kind of seemed like a bit of a match made in heaven. But this girl Larissa said to me like, oh, you should teach on Udemy, and I was like, well, you know, I'm not an expert in anything, and I will be too shy, and how will I know if it will work? And she was like, look, let's just film one together. So we made a course together like this, you know, we just sat down and filmed, and she showed me how to edit and how to put it on Udemy. And then I was just like hooked. And now I have, I don't know, about 25 courses, all kinds of different topics. And she like changed my life, because she just showed me this whole new thing, and she gave me the confidence to go and create and just see what happens. And I was just totally addicted. Yeah.
So your networking skills really proved to get you to the next level. Like,
yeah,
you're open to learning and like whatever it took, really.
Yeah, exactly. And nomads are so open, like especially in Chiang Mai, but I think in the whole world. You just go along to some like Facebook meetup of digital nomads in Rome, and you meet all these people, and they really want to help you, and they really want to tell you what they're doing for income and give you advice on how to get started. And everyone wants everyone else to be able to achieve it. So like, you know, that's why I do my channel, is to give people advice and like the truth of the highs and lows, and give people practical advice. And I think it's like that in real life as well. The nomads just all want to help.
Yeah, very awesome, Louise. Thanks for inspiring. So Udemy is obviously an amazing form of passive income for you, like putting in the time, making the courses, and then now you're just thriving off of it. What other jobs have you done while being a digital nomad, or tried to do, or still do?
Yeah, so the thing about Udemy is it takes a little while to get started, because, you know, making a course takes a bit of time, and then you have to start getting students, and just from one course you probably won't earn a ton. So it's about having a lot of courses that all earn little bits and add up. So it takes a while to make an income from that. So when I first started, I did a little bit of freelancing, and I've done all kinds of different jobs. I was a journalist for a while. I've done PR, I've done social media, I've done a bit of copywriting, like all kinds of different jobs. And I think that was really fun. I kind of get bored if I do one thing for too long. And it just introduces you to so many different opportunities. So like the journalist thing, I was doing PR for someone, and then I also had a blog, and so they saw my blog and they were like, oh, we'd like to write about you because I'm really into secondhand shopping. They were like, oh, we want to write an article about secondhand shopping. And then they were like, either we can interview you and write the article, or you can write the article and get paid and like work for our newspaper. And I was like, that sounds much better.
Amazing.
So I did that, and then I was doing a couple of articles a month for them, and it was like a thing. So I find freelancing amazing, how you just try different stuff and you say yes to things. Like, I didn't have a journalism degree, and you know, I was always very transparent with them. Like, they'd seen my writing on my blog and they were like, yeah, I think you could write for us. And it's kind of scary saying yes to stuff when you feel like you're not like technically qualified, but as long as the employer knows what your experience is and they can judge for themselves, and then you can just try out these things, and you kind of never know where it's going to end up. Like, I never thought I would be a journalist for a national paper in the UK, and I never thought I'd be an online teacher. I never thought I would live in Australia. Like, you just kind of don't know what's out there until you say yes to stuff. So that's always my biggest piece of advice to people, is just don't be afraid. And you don't have to mislead people, but you can just tell them where you're at and see if they want to hire you, and you just never know.
So I know you love Chiang Mai, and you mentioned like living in Australia. So what would you say are the top 5 digital nomad hotspots, or digital nomad friendly places? So I always recommend the website NOMAD list,
which I'm sure Zoey will link, because it ranks a bunch of cities in the world based on how good they are for nomads. So it looks at like cost of living and Wi-Fi, and whether there's co-works, and whether it's friendly to women and that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's not always totally accurate, and it depends what your priorities are. Like, maybe you don't mind the snow, or maybe you're really obsessed with coffee, but it's a really good baseline to just start to see what cities nomads are going to. You can be like, oh, Vienna is really in fashion right now for nomads. So I really like that kind of to get started. But for actually living as a nomad, we really love Chiang Mai. Obviously, I won't go on about that anymore. We spent a bit of time in Bali. I personally prefer Thailand, but a lot of people prefer Bali. I really like being in America. It's a bit more of an expensive choice. Like, it depends where you are in your journey and what jobs you're doing. But America's really good fun, and it's nice sometimes to be somewhere that has the infrastructure. I'm sure you feel that with Rome sometimes. It's nice to be somewhere that just like works. So America's good for that. We really loved Gili Air just as like a destination, but it doesn't really have much Wi-Fi, but it was just total paradise. And also Koh Lanta is a really good one if you want to be in Thailand and have like the cheapness of Thailand, the friendliness of Thailand, the food of Thailand, but you don't want to live in a city. Koh Lanta is like a little island. It has an amazing co-work space that has a very good community. So we normally swap between there and Chiang Mai depending on whether we want a city or a beach.
amazing. What a life, really, what a life.
It's great. I never imagined I'd be here, and I'm so glad we did this.
I know, I'm so happy you're finally in my city.
Yeah, it's insane that I've traveled so much and I haven't been to Rome, so it's been a long time coming, but it's lived up to the hype, so if you guys haven't been yet, you need to come.
Yes, you do. If I haven't convinced you already, you got a book. Yeah. So you're actually leaving Rome today, Louise. Where are you off to? Next
I'm going home for a couple of weeks, and then we are going to America for the next few months, and hopefully Puerto Rico before Christmas. And then we're going back to Georgia to do a ski season. So Georgia, the country, not the state. So we're going to do a ski season in the new year, which will be
amazing.
Cool. A bit of everything.
Cool. Well, thank you for collaborating with me, Louise, and for coming on my channel as a guest. And I hope this video inspired you guys. Louise has inspired me so much along my digital nomad journey, so be sure to check out her channel and her Instagram down below so you can get inspired as well. Have an amazing day, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye.